Exclusive from Reuters. Nobody actually wants to use Grok. Grok falls flat in Washington, undercutting SpaceX's AI growth story. And this is when narrative hits reality, and then we all hit the wall at warp fucking speed. So anyways, I think this is an interesting story because of the SpaceX IPO coming up. So SpaceX is gonna IPO for between 1.7 to 2 trillion dollars. 10x the largest US IPO in history. It comes in about the same as the largest IPO in history, but that was a Saudi, Aramco. That was basically the oil company for all of Saudi Arabia. So when you're thinking about normal companies, basically think about the SpaceX IPO, literally at the low end of the IPO being 10x of what Alibaba was at $169 billion. And that was the largest US IPO in history. And one of the reasons that it's supposed to be worth $2 trillion is because there's $28 trillion of TAM, total addressable market. So the idea, as you know, if you have ever seen a Shark Tank episode, if there's $28 trillion of TAM and we can get this amount of that market, that means our company is worth a gazillion dollars. And for some reason, when people do that on Shark Tank, it's funny. But when Elon Musk does that during an actual IPO, oh, he is the smartest man that has ever lived. But the problem is his products are, kind of crappy and kind of actually not that valuable. Again, to be clear, one of the weird things about this whole SpaceX IPO is you hear SpaceX IPO and you think launching crap into space is going to be worth $2 trillion. No, actually not. Even in their S1, their prospectus, like launching crap into space is one of the least valuable things that they do. The real value is the artificial intelligence. And that's where this all just gets so weird because, Elon Musk was just in court trying to do a court case against OpenAI. And the funny part is, when he was actually under oath, when he legally was forced to tell the truth for once in his life, he basically literally stated on the record, xAI is an also-ran. So the AI product that is the also-ran is what should drive the IPO for the most valuable, initial public offering ever. Mama, make it make sense. Dude, I am not creative enough to make this stuff up. I can't. I don't know. So anyways, this is coming from Washington, D.C. And basically it shows that the federal government really doesn't actually want to use Grok, right? So one of the big things under the Biden administration and then under the Trump administration is they've really been trying to implement artificial intelligence into government because, I don't know, nuclear weapons or something, right? Anyways, and so basically so many departments in the federal government have gotten access to all the different models and companies, OpenAI and Anthropic and Grok. And the curious thing that we see from this particular article is that nobody actually wants to use Grok. Again, as I've talked about before, they really like Anthropic and they really like Gemini, and they do use OpenAI, and they don't really use Grok. SpaceX's initial public offering is set to be the largest in history, partly fueled by its promise to grab a chunk of what it calls a multi-trillion-dollar market for AI services through its AI startup, xAI. But xAI's Grok chatbot has been a flop with one of the world's largest customers, the US government. According to 7 federal employees, 3 contracting experts, and Reuters' review of government AI inventory documents. The 2025 consolidated inventory records from the federal agency agencies show more than 400 publicly identified examples of AI use in government that name a specific vendor. Of them, only 3 involve the use of xAI or Grok. By contrast, 234 examples involve technology based on OpenAI models, including ChatGPT and Codex, and Microsoft Copilot. 33 involve Gemini or other Alphabet products, and 26 involve Anthropic's Claude. So basically, xAI and Grok was used 3 times, Anthropic was used 26 times, Google was used 33 times, and OpenAI and that whole mess was 234 times. It is important to understand with this when we start lumping things together, right? You have OpenAI with ChatGPT and Codex. You also have Microsoft Copilot, so that kind of makes sense there. Let's see here. Grok has been available to federal agencies for 8 months at a cost of 42 cents per agency. That near zero pricing, which is also used by xAI's competitor, is a typical strategy tech giants use to entice government agencies into using their products so they can lock them into higher priced contracts later. And that's one of the big things, I try to talk about for any of those startup founders out there that actually listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Here's a question I have for you. Would anybody actually want your product if you gave it away for free? Right? You get so many of these startup founders and they're like, we're going to make $1 gazillion. And you're like, yeah, but would anybody actually use your product for free? Or here's the really painful question. What happens if you paid people to use your product? If you paid people to use your product, would they still refuse to use your product? And what a lot of startup founders will find out there is that even if they paid people to use their product, people still would not want to bother using their product, right? And that's a bit of a painful thing. And one of the big questions I come up to in this whole AI world, right? One of the things that we're told so many times, like right now, like the buzzwords are capacity constrained. As soon as hardware resources come online, they're immediately used. That shows you how demand AI is. But the big thing is most AI right now is being used by users who do not pay a dime. Something like 90% of OpenAI's users are free users. Something like 60%, and we don't know for Anthropic because it's obfuscated. They do not have to tell us, so they don't tell us. As far as people can try to figure it out, 60% of Anthropic's users are free users, right? We look at Google. And as I've said many times before, I had no interest in using Gemini. Gemini was nowhere on my radar of LLM models. Nothing against it. Nothing against Google. None of that. Just wasn't, like, there's a lot of models out there. Just wasn't on my radar. But hey, they literally shoved it into Google search. And so I've been using Gemini literally whether or not I want to use it. And so one of the big things with this whole AI demand is so much of this AI demand is basically demand by users who are getting the service for free or who are basically being forced to use the damn service. And so there's a real question of, once you actually start billing for what it costs to deliver these solutions, whether or not anybody will care. And so think about this with the federal government, right? Basically, they're trying to give away xAI, they're trying to give away Grok for free to the federal government. And so when it's free, people still don't want to use it. Does that give you confidence in a $2 trillion valuation? Quote, the goal is to encourage adoption so the federal government employees eventually can't imagine doing their jobs without generative AI, said Valerie, a researcher at the Brookings Institution who studies AI adoption in the federal government. The OMB data raises questions about whether Grok can take AI market share from leaders, including Claude or ChatGPT, and help justify SpaceX's ambitious $1.75 trillion IPO. In a recent regulatory filing, SpaceX said it expects to make far more money building AI for large companies and other big organizations, a total market opportunity it values at $26.5 trillion than from its other businesses. So in its IPO prospectus, it basically says its future is in AI. That's where it's really valuable. The real value in SpaceX is in the product nobody really cares about. But when they care about, when they realize how valuable Grok is, then it'll all make sense. And this is, as I've said with the whole SpaceX, oh Lordy, I don't understand. I just don't get it. Lordy. Let's see here. Quote, it suggests the model lacks the security rigor required at the federal level, which will be a red flag for some corporate buyers, said Jane. Quote, without government validation, the $175 trillion valuation looks less like a floor and more like a high ceiling. Yeah, more like the ceiling that you're looking at when you are incredibly high, basically. And that's the other thing to be thinking about this too. Again, nothing against government. Look, my father retired from the federal government. Nothing against the government. But come on now. But come on, it's the federal government. Oh, the federal government doesn't exactly have the most rigor. The federal government is lacking a few things that private industry actually cares about. You know, actually proving things like return on investment and all of that kind of stuff. And think about this, especially with Elon Musk and Trump and Doge. Remember Doge, right? All of that, whatever that is, and still nobody in the federal government is using their product. Does that sound good for corporate adoption? Let's see here. A second part of the AI inventory focused on more ambitious applications, which are used by fewer people, also shows little trace of Grok. The only 3 references to Grok in that data show that Grok had been deployed, quote, in a limited test or pilot capacity at the Energy Department's Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory and the Election Assistance Commission. By contrast, OpenAI and Microsoft together accounted for 140 uses. One Pentagon source with direct knowledge of the matter said many staffers preferred competitors' AI tools over Grok. The Defense Advanced Research, or DARPA, the Pentagon's research and development arm, Google Gemini is used for engineering analysis, while Anthropic's Claude is preferred for coding, writing, and research, the source said. OpenAI was also used, the person said, but Grok was generally not. Claude or Gemini are used within more sophisticated engineering circles at DARPA, the person added, in part because Grok is, quote, just not the best model out there, he said. SpaceX is still fighting to make inroads. The company's AI subsidiary, xAI, recently began pursuing FedRAMP high authorization, a kind of seal of approval for sensitive government work, with the help of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. But 3 USDA information technology professionals said they were not aware of Grok being used. The USDA said it was, quote, proud to sponsor Grok, but didn't respond to a question about how often the chatbot was used. We are very proud to sponsor Grok, and we have nothing else to say on the matter. Last month, xAI lost a bid to build Grok-powered product for the Department of Veteran Affairs, according to a person familiar with the matter. The person said the chatbot hadn't met the department's requirements. And yeah, and so that's where we are with kind of like xAI and Grok and SpaceX, which makes me so confused with all of this disaster. Because one of the big things with Elon Musk is that he went into market spaces previously where there was no competition and the moat was enormous, right? So with Tesla, you go into electric vehicles. Here's the deal. I still don't understand why, even in 2026, American companies still don't want to do electric cars, right? So he goes into electric vehicles. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into producing electric vehicles and actually making them so people want to purchase them on the mass market. And so he has no competition going in. Once he creates what he's done, he creates a moat around that. It becomes difficult to compete with him, at least in the United States. And for whatever reason, in the US, nobody wants to compete with him. Again, as I've talked about before, I love Ford vehicles. I have a plug-in hybrid Escape, which I love. I drove the Mustang Mach-E. We would have bought the Mach-E, but it didn't connect to the superchargers at the time, and I was concerned about the charging infrastructure. So look, I like Ford electric vehicles. I would be very interested in my next vehicle being a Ford electric vehicle. But here's the thing, in 2026, it does not appear Ford is very interested in selling me an electric vehicle, right? So he has been able to create this massive company, Tesla, basically where there is no competition. If you look at SpaceX, right? Again, a company, basically privately funded company trying to get into space. There was no competition when he was getting into the arena. And even now, the competition that exists is kind of weird, right? You have Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin, which I think they finally landed one of their like first stage rockets or whatever else. So there is some, to be clear, at least with that, there is some competition, but also Not a lot for whatever reason. If you look at Starlink, internet-based satellite system, again, first mover advantage on that. Still not a lot of competition. There is more competition coming out there. But if you look at these other areas where Elon Musk has been successful, he had first mover advantage. There is a massive moat around what he did once he became successful. And the reality is even after he proved the concept, most companies still don't want to get into that market space, right? It's just one of those things. What's so weird in the AI race is it's entirely flipping that script, right? He got into this market late. He's a late mover advantage. There is a tremendous amount of competition in this particular area, and there's only getting to be more competition by the day. And so he comes out with his AI product into an incredibly crowded marketplace, and then on top of that, touts this product as the crown jewel of this company that he wants to IPO for an eye-watering amount of money. And this is where I say it just doesn't make sense. If SpaceX IPO'd at $500 billion, look, there'd be a lot of arguments around it. I still wouldn't argue for it, but you could see maybe pro and con argument around it. $1.72 trillion, like the federal government doesn't want to use it. The federal government doesn't want to use your product. I think that's a bit of a canary in the coal mine. So anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about Grok falling flat in Washington with the federal government? What do you think about Grok basically being an also-ran in a time period in like 3 weeks they're going to try to IPO for $2 trillion? What do you think about them trying to say this is a total addressable market of $26 trillion, but they have an also-ran piece of crap, system that's what they're trying to sell. Again, if somebody went into Shark Tank and said this, they would get laughed out of the room. Why the hell is it that everybody takes Elon Musk so seriously? I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these videos and you want them on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, there's a link in the doobly-doo. And also if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there is a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.